Yeah, the goats. That's so cool. Hello everyone and welcome to the Woolly Mammoth Fibre Company podcast. Sorry it has taken so long for me to record this, but life is busy. This season of life is busy. I have a now 10 and a bit month old, and I'm also trying to work and trying to knit as well, which is not super easy. I'm sure some of you can relate. But I have actually got some stuff to show you, which is why I have been so keen to get on here. I had to come to the greenhouse because it's like the only quiet place. I was going to say in my house, but the greenhouse isn't in the house. It's outside of the house. That's why it's quiet. And I have, yeah, some nice things to show you. Oh my goodness, please. I hope you can't hear that. I think someone's using like a chainsaw or something. Oh, I'm just gonna plow on because it's now or never. Hope you can't hear that. It's also a little bit windy and there's people talking, but I don't think it's too loud, hopefully. Today I'm drinking water with a big ice cube, which is so refreshing. You can't beat water apart from maybe with tea. So anyway, yes, how about we talk about the elephant in the room? This is Shawl, which I'm sure some of you remember from like 2 years ago when I started designing this shawl. This is, I think, maybe my second or third version of it. I have the first version here in case you want to have a look at it. This is my first ever go at designing something. I'll be honest, I found it really difficult. I figured out that my brain does not work in this way, and I admire all knitwear designers because I think you have to have a certain type of brain to be a knitwear designer, and I don't have it, so I struggled with this. And I had help from friends, and that was amazing. So yeah, so I'll show you the first version. So I designed this in my BFL Gotland 4-ply, which I don't have any of. Oh, this is the wrong way around. Any of in the shop. I haven't had it for ages because I can't get it. I can't get the hold of it. But I am going to, once the pattern gets tech edited, which is going to be tech edited next month, I am going to try my best to get some of this in stock because I will want to make up kits in different colours. So you can see the problem with the first one that I knitted. I didn't realise that I had to keep increasing here to stop this, to stop this bump occurring. So yeah, this version just kind of sits about now as a testament to my non-designing abilities. But I think this was my second go at this, potentially. And there's such a lot goes into designing a knitting pattern. And you think after you've been a knitter for, you know, maybe 10 years, you could have a go maybe at designing something. And I've come to the conclusion it's more to do with the personality and the type of brain, the way someone's brain works, as to whether or not it's something that is intuitive to you or not. So I've decided, to me, it's not intuitive. Anyway, I knitted this version. So the first version was with Undyed and Peony, the colourways, and this is with Undyed and Cognac. So I managed to finish the second sample when we were on holidays. I decided to take only this and I think one other project, so there's a good chance that I could actually get it finished. Because I knew I needed to have, I needed to knit the lace section during the day because for me anyway, it required a little bit of concentration, and I had to make sure that I was doing it correctly because I had to knit this new section here, which has solved the problem with the bunching up in the middle. And I also had to recheck my design here at the ends, and I had to remember to write anything down if I made a change with it. So yay, I finished it and I'm really happy with it. So I am calling this, what am I calling it again? This is terrible that I don't even know. I'm the world's worst podcaster. I think I'm calling it Ferny Corner because these are like little fronds of a fern. And this, the name is kind of based, I went to school in a town called Cowl, which means Ferny Corner, Coolrathian. So I thought better not name it the Irish version because no one will know what it is or how to say it. I mean, yeah, so I just thought, well, Ferny Corner makes more sense because it's directly, the words directly linked to what is on the shawl. There's other designers that put, what's it called? Phonetic spelling, like Albina. Gotland always does that, which is nice. I quite like that. Maybe I will insert it. I don't know. And I think it suits this shawl really well. And hopefully when it's tech edited, there's not too many mistakes. And then it can go to testing. I have a few testers already lined up. I don't think I want too many for my first ever test knit because that could go kind of badly wrong if you don't know what you're doing, and I don't. I'm gonna need maybe 2 test knitters who are very experienced. That would be ideal. Experienced at test knitting and know how they work and could maybe help me and advise me a little bit if I'm doing it right or wrong. So if you are that person, get in touch. So this will hopefully, I really would like to have this out by Christmas. I don't know if that's feasible or not, but I might give it a go. I'll have to schedule in some time for dyeing the kits then, and also I need to format the pattern. I don't know what else I would need to do. I need to figure out how how I would sell it. and the, you know, how that all works with like VAT, because I think when you sell things, digital products, there's VAT involved, and there'll be a whole thing with that, probably. So yeah, the end is in sight. The hard bits, I think, almost done. The hard bit for me was the designing, really, and I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out for my first design. So that is the Ferny corner shawl, surrounded by tomatoes, which are coming on quite well. Like, I need to definitely pick some of these. We're going to have a glut very soon, and I keep forgetting to water them, but still they have beautiful, lovely fruits. So I'm going to take this off now because I have more things to show you. Here's a little close-up before I put it away. Now it's obviously, oops, much nicer looking when it's blocked, but I'll probably block it again. Oh yeah, I have to take the photographs for this as well, so there's another job to add to the never-ending job list, and I'm sure some of you can relate to that as well. I think I'll go somewhere, coastal but with ferns to take the photos. I have somewhere in mind, and maybe I'll be the model, I'm not sure. I might set it up in a timer, but maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe I should get a model and I'll take the photos. I'm not sure. Anyway, next on the, what's it called? FO section, finished object, is my Dana Ray mix, or Dana Ray designs, or just Dana Ray scattering petals cowl. Now I think I had just cast this on in the last episode possibly, and I had definitely a few comments of people who were being like, I don't understand how this will work, because you knit it in the round, not this way but this way, and you knit, and I think it was like some special cast on, maybe a provisional cast on, and then you graft the end together so that it creates this infinite loop. Because when I was knitting it, definitely my husband was very confused, because it's an open tube when you're knitting it, so I put it like it would look as if it wouldn't fit, you know. Sounds like someone's being killed over there. Oh dear. So it looked as if it wouldn't fit. Sorry about this. So anyway, it creates this infinite loop, and you can actually knit the pattern in a few different ways. So you can knit it in DK, you can knit it in 4-ply, or you can knit it in 4-ply held double. So I knitted it in DK in my Hearth DK, which is the new base coming to the shop very shortly. And I finished this, I think I used, how many colours did I use? Maybe about 6. And yeah, the Hearth DK, this shouting really threw me off, sorry. The Hearth DK is coming to the shop at the end of the month. It's going to make its debut into the shop. I hope it will be a regular fixture, but I'm only going to bring it in, I think, in the colder months from like August to March or something like that, just because it's a bit of a heavier weight yarn. It's 240 meters per 100 grams, so it is like DK weight, and it's worsted spun, so like it is warm. So I'll just put this on. So this is it round once, and then you can put it around again. And I love the way that this infinite cowl sits. Like, I think it sits so nicely, because I love the way it just like sits on top of each other, and it like folds in perfectly. And I just think this is going to be so good for the winter and just to get snuggled in, and it's going to be really cozy. I love how it looks, I love how it feels in the Hearth DK. It is really warm, so yeah, it's going to be perfect. It's quite long, it goes around obviously perfectly twice, like it's a fair length. I'll show you. So as you can imagine, like it's quite thick fabric because it's like double layered, so it took like quite a long time to knit. I would be quite interested in knitting this in a 4-ply weight. I think that would be potentially really nice and a little bit lighter weight. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed this. I kind of stopped and started this through probably a series, a few different months. I stopped and started this, and it was the sort of thing you could just put down and pick up and like just like start and stop knitting whenever you want to do, because the pattern was very memorable and it was just really like a nice calm knit. There was nothing too like complicated about it, and it was just very enjoyable, to be honest. And I love this stitch pattern. Like I think it just looks so squishy and lovely and like really nice. So that is the Scattering Petals Cowl by Dana Ray Next. Second finished object. Now I have to confess, the first one, it was started. Like I didn't do this all in holidays, so I had the grey bit already done, and then I just did the orange bit in holidays, and I finished it when we got home. So that's my second finished object. My third, yes, a third finished object, which I hope I have not showed before on the last podcast. I don't think I did, because it wasn't technically finished because I had to weave in all the ends. Oh, I still haven't woven in the ends. Oh well, that's real life for you. Is this pair of Scrappy Socks. I had a bunch of samples from the dye studio and I just want to use them up. So I decided to do a 3x1 rib. I used 2mm Knit Pro Symphonies. This is the texture that the natural sock makes. I cast on, I'm a loose knitter, so I'm pretty sure I cast on 64 stitches. Heel, flap and gusset, as always with me. I've kind of come up with a recipe now that suits my feet and it suits this yarn, so I tend to just stick with that. And I didn't have any particular, I didn't do, you know, this much of this colour, this much of that colour. I just knitted until I wanted to change colour, and I really like the effect that it gives. Because this yarn, the natural sock, is non-superwash and nylon free, I knitted the socks about 2 centimetres longer to account for the felting that will occur in the foot. I would say probably not everyone who uses this yarn will have felting occur, but it's just because I have very sweaty feet that I can felt pretty much anything. So I always knit them longer to allow for that, because they do always seem to felt in the length rather than the width. And that way when they felt, because I invariably will felt socks, they will still fit. They will fit better than after I knit them. So I used to have quite a lot of scraps of colourways, of little samples that I did in the dye studio. These are all naturally dyed, of colourways I just had lying around. So what can I tell you? I don't even know if these colours are, if I have them. I know this one's honeysuckle. I'm pretty sure I made that not that massively long ago, and it's a repeatable colourway, but the rest are just pretty random. So, but I'm really pleased with how they turned out. probably not the most exciting knit, but honestly I'm such a slow sock knitter. Like it takes me, I started these like 1 or 2 years ago and I've only just finished them. So I am not a fast knitter. I'm not someone who could podcast every month and have like something new, I don't think. I like a few projects on the go. Also, I realised this recently. I get a terrible feeling when I finish a project and have nothing else to do. So like when I'm in the middle of something now, I've started to swatch like for the next project or to cast something on, just so that I don't end and have a total sense of nothing to do with my hands. So this is my third finished object. Oh, it's my last finished object. Let's stop for a wee second and talk about the garden, if you want. It's coming on well this year. The tomatoes are good, although like I said before, I do keep forgetting to water them, which is probably not the best. We have finished an area down in this part of the garden, which was very weedy last year. We've planted up most things that we want to plant up now. If you follow along in my Instagram stories, you'll have seen the transformation of the garden and greenhouse and everything. The strawberries were good this year. I would say less of them got eaten this year than last year. The raspberries were not as good as last year, but there were still plenty of them. The dahlias got munched quite badly. I really wanted to have like a cut flower raised bed, which I kind of have successfully done. I have Everlasting Sweet Pea, which I've only just realised doesn't have a scent, so that's a bit sad. Someone on Instagram told me that and I went to investigate and they were correct. So I don't know what I'll do about that next year. On these beds I don't think I'll do a cut flower bed. I think I will potentially do a globe artichoke surrounded by fennel, bronze fennel maybe. I have a bronze fennel plant that someone gave me. So I think that could be really nice. It's like ornamental, edible. But hopefully from next year it's just going to be like maintenance around the garden, which will be really nice. Although I love a project, I love creating something from scratch. But by next summer I'm sure there'll be other things that I want to do. I'm sure I'll want to like get back into spinning and all of that type of thing. So that is the garden chat. All right, next work in progress. This is a good one now, so this is my first sweater. So I seen this first of all on the Penrose Knits podcast. She was knitting one and I really liked it, thought it was really nice little design. And the design is by Hive Knits. It's called The First Sweater. So in the pattern they use a DK weight yarn. However, when I tried to swatch with the DK weight yarn, I was like so far off the size of the swatch. I was so far off the size the swatch should have been that I actually dropped to, because I held this yarn double and it is a woolen spun 4-ply. I held it double and it was just so far off, it was ridiculous. So held it single strand and I still had to come down. I had to come down several needle sizes to get the gauge. But I got it and I liked the fabric. So I was like, okay, it's time to cast this on. So it's top down, obviously. Is that obvious? I think so. Yeah, it's obvious. It's top down, it's got a rolled, no, it's not a rolled. What's it called? Double neckband? No, that's not right, is it? folded neckband. It's got a folded neckband. I think this was maybe, if I done one of these before on a top down sweater, I don't know that I have, but look at that. Like, how good does that look? Really happy with it. The sleeves are Fisherman's rib, and in the round I would say that the stitch is absolutely delightful and requires next to no thought. It's lovely, and a little progress keeper by Chapelview Crafts, which I love. There is short rows in this, and then it's a raglan. And can I just show you something really cool? Look how the rib of the folded neckband flows into the Fisherman's rib. That's pretty sweet, like, isn't it? The yarn is a new limited edition yarn that is coming to the shop in September. It's a mix of Hebridean and Black Welsh Mountain from Northern Ireland. The Hebridean is from a Cowl, if you know, it's outside Ballymena. And the Black Welsh Mountain is from Ballycastle. So I blended these two sheep breeds as well. I can't talk. Can you tell I'm not getting like enough sleep these days? Yeah, so I blended these together, and it's a woolen spun base, which I love, love, love woolen spun bases for garments. And so far I'm just, I don't know, but I might, didn't bring any bumpers, as I was gonna say I could try it on for you, but I love a naturally coloured yarn, especially these really dark colours. I also have a skein of Daughter of a Shepherd that has been looking at me for literally years, going, make me, make me. And I don't know, there's something about it. I don't feel like it's captured very well on camera, but there's so much depth to this colour, and it's not just like a black yarn. It's charcoal, it's brown, it's got wisps of white. It's like, there's so much character and depth to it, and it really feels like very, you're in touch with your heritage. Is that the right way to put it? Maybe. So I love this type of thing. At the start, I had to kind of get myself set up with a little lamp so that I could work on it at night. So I have a little lamp from Micaela that just like shines directly on my knitting, and I actually find it's good for all my knitting. It stops your eyes getting strained, so I don't find any problems to work on it in the evening. And plus it's mainly just stockinette now, so it's just round and round, so you don't even have to look. So because we're at this easy bit, I always do this, when I get to an easy bit I stall. Like, I don't know why, there's something about the challenge of like this bit that makes me keep going, like if I can do it, but if I can't then I stall as well. And I'm just like, I don't know, I think I pick it up now more when I'm not doing anything, but I also have a more challenging knit in the go that I'll talk about in a minute. But I think when you knit something hard, you also should knit something easy, so that you still, yeah, it's just a good way to knit. I think it's the same with reading. Like if you read something hard, always read something easy as well. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this, and I don't think it will take me too long to finish. I actually went to visit the farmer recently of the Hebridean sheep. He is very into sheepdog trialing, and he uses the Hebridean sheep mainly to train his dogs on. And I met up with him the other day, and he was chatting me through everything. It was so interesting to hear everything about the breed of sheep and how they interact with the dogs, and how he can like obviously like just like whistle, and the dog like does whatever the whistle means. It's actually amazing to watch. He showed me, he like kind of rounded up the sheep with the dog. It was literally like so cool. I think if I was retired I would love to do something like that. So anyway, he was very keen to see this, and I forgot to bring it, so I think one day I'll have to finish it and bring it to him. because he would love to see it. So I have bought his clip again this year, and I'll be repeating a yarn. I don't know if it'll be exactly the same blend as this, but it'll be something maybe similar for next year. So, and I think it will go well with these trousers that I have, these linen trousers, because I realised I had a few things that I could really use like a one colour sweater with, and these trousers were one of them. So kind of knitting also to plug a little gap in my wardrobe. So that is that, work in progress. Not really sure what else I could say about it apart from I really like it. I really am enjoying this. I'll put this back in my bag. Here's the kit if you want to see it. That actually shows quite well the texture of the yarn. Yeah, that's quite good. And this is in a bag that I actually naturally dyed when Hannah Lisa was making bags. I use this as my sweater sack quite a lot, and along with one by Alex Collins, which is a really good size for sweaters. It's, I don't know, I always find it quite difficult to find a project bag that's like big enough for sweaters. I often carry them around in this basket. Ooh. But then it gets so filled up with stuff that I need bags as well. Okay, so need to talk to you about my next work in progress. It is as well in my Hearth DK. Actually, all these projects are in my own yarn. I don't always knit with my own yarn, I promise. It seems a bit, what's the word? No, I can't think of the word. Introspective on your own yarn. I do actually genuinely love using other people's yarn. I just don't have any whips in other people's yarn today. So this project is a project that I just started. It is not released yet, but I can show you the project. It is a new pattern by Vanessa Pellisa. She's a Spanish designer who I've worked with before on an advent calendar design. She designed the Rufus shawl, so she designed, and she also designed the Rufus socks. So she's designing this in my Hearth DK, and the pattern's going to be released along with my yarn. Just why not? So I'm knitting it in these two colorways. This one is undyed. So this is what the Hearth DK looks like undyed. It is a mixture of Blue Face Leicester 50% and Jacob 50%. It's worsted spun. And I'm going to have so many colours. I'll show you a little bit later all the colours that are coming in the shop update at the end of the month on the 31st of August, 8 PM GMT +1. I'm going to be debuting it in the shop. Now we're all a wee bit mixed up here because I had to do a few rippy outy things more than once, let's say. I'm having another go. I need to go and work, so I'm kind of vaguely in the test group for this, but I'm not seriously testing it because I wouldn't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. But anyway. So this is the start of a design called the Micaela shawl, and it is again with Fisherman's rib. So, but this time it is knit in the flat with two colours. So that makes what looks like a simple shawl, deceptively simple looking shawl, not simple. I mean, it's probably easy once you get the hang of it, but I haven't got the hang of it yet. And you know, like, until something gets in your head, you can't quite, you really have to like concentrate. I'm also working from a version of the pattern that's not like completely finished. So I'm trying my best, but I had to rip out. I started with the 2 colours quite a few times. I had to rip out, and in my sleep deprived state, I would say I'm struggling a little bit with this. But I've seen photos of the 1 colour version and I know what it looks like, and I know it's gonna look amazing, and I know I'm gonna really enjoy it because I really love the Fisherman's Rib, but I just really need to crack this first section and then I'll be on a roll. So, but to do that, I'm gonna need childcare, I'm gonna need a lot of tea, I'm gonna need a vaguely good night's sleep, and then I might be able to do it. Just to get this knitted. I'm determined, I'm not gonna let it beat me. I'm thick-headed. So this is all I've done. You might have seen on Instagram I'd done a bit more, but I had to rip it back. This is just called something like a triple I-cord selvage or something mad, and I keep making mistakes on it because I'm not concentrating. But it's a very beautiful edge. See all my mistakes now? Yep, me too. And so it's kind of sections of garter and then sections of Fisherman's Rib and then garter. But actually in the Fisherman's Rib, it's not like this is 1 colour and the Fisherman's Rib is another colour. It's actually the Fisherman's Rib is 2 colours. So it kind of looks like brioche or like slip stitches or something. But it's a lot different to knit than those 2 things. So, but yeah, I can tell I'm gonna like it. Once I crack it, I'm gonna love it, and it's gonna be one of those really wearable ones. And actually when I started knitting with the 2 colours, I was like, oh, I actually really like the 1 colour version. Maybe I should have done that, but then maybe I'll do that anyway, just in the undyed. I think that could look really cool, or in a really nice light brown maybe. Oh, I think that could look amazing. So I'm all out of water until my ice cube melts. So that is my last work in progress, sadly. But I do have a little bit of yarn to show you if you want to stick around. I have some colours of the Hearth DK. I'll not go like too into depth because you can also sign up to my newsletter if you want to get more in-depth information about this base. You can also read my journal that I put up a post every month saying what's going to be in the shop. I also am on Instagram, and I'll have loads of stuff on there about this base. So even if you're not on Instagram, there's loads of options and ways to find out about shop updates. Okay. Brought them out in their own bag because, you know, we were outside and I didn't have enough space in my basket. And these are just a few colours that I brought because I want to show you, just to give you an idea of what I'm going to have, but I'm going to have way more than just these colours. So I'll just run through them. So the base is obviously a heathered grey base. So anything you over dye on that has a lovely depth, and it has a nice tonality to it, which I'm not going to say you don't get on white yarn, but I think it lends itself better to, I don't know, it just has subtleties to it, which I like for garments, like especially if you just want it in 1 colour rather than like with something that's brightly coloured or something that's like speckled or whatever. It adds interest without being overwhelming, so I like that. So this is the original undyed colour. These are my labels. And I'm just gonna go through a couple of colours that I like. This is Peony. Lot 1. I'm here for this colour. I think it really suits, well, I mean, I feel like all natural colours suit everyone because it's like they're natural, but I really like this colour. This is kind of my jam. This is Cognac. I have a little bit of this, but I can make more if I run out. A nice kind of orangey colour. I'm gonna hold them all up here so you can see them all together. Well, at least some of them. This is Bonfire. This is an oldie colour that I dyed. I've dyed this loads of times, and it's just a nice rich garnet kind of red. It's actually quite festive, I would say, but I feel like it suits this base and it goes with this range of colours, so I dyed it. This is Copper. This is the colourway that Melody Hoffman used in her Eva sweater that was designed in my BFL Massum DK. So this base has the same meterage as the BFL Massum DK. It's a different fibre makeup, but it's the same meterage. So any patterns that are knit in that yarn, this yarn will suit it very well. And then we have Wildflower Dark, and we have Indigo. I have lots of indigo. There is Mustard Green, another nice one. Look at all these autumnal colours. Love that. And ooh, I'm on a nice base here. Rathlin Bay. This is a new-ish colourway. Okay, so there you go. There's gonna be lots more. But yeah, all these will be in the shop, sweater quantities at the end of the month. And I'd say the next time this yarn could be in the shop might be January. Possibly, the way things are going. September, I'm going to be launching the Hebridean and Black Welsh Mountain along with the Causeway yarn. It'll be back in the shop again. And after that, those two bases, they won't be back until next year as well. November is going to be my kind of makers market Christmas extravaganza type shop update. I'm going to have festive colours. I'm going to have various different makers in the shop. What else will I have? I haven't decided what bases I'm going to dye for that, but I could have a range of everything. That's usually my aim, to have a bit of everything. Also in the shop currently, if you're interested, because last year, was it last year? No, it was the year before I did the advent calendars. They sold out super fast, so I took a year off last year from them, and I did just a 12-day one this year, which is currently in the shop, and there is stock of the advent calendar. So yeah, they're in the shop. I teamed up with a local polymer clay artist, Casting Clay, who is making progress keepers to go along with that advent calendar, and the theme of it is the 12 days of Christmas. And each colourway is named after one of the things that the true love gives in the song. But again, there's more about that on my website if you're interested at all. Those will be shipping in October. And at the moment, still in the shop is the Autumnal Equinox Club. I don't know if I'll do another one of these again. Not sure if I'm feeling it anymore. I might do one more. I've ordered progress keepers for one more, but I could maybe use them for something else. But yeah, I've got a few spaces left on that, and in that you get a art print by me, which I take on my analog film camera. You also get a set of progress keepers by Casting Clay. I'll try and leave a link to below to her Instagram page, maybe, if you don't know who she is. And a mini skein set and a full skein. So this might be the last one that I do of these. I think I'm ready to mix it up and do something different, and I think quite a lot of other people are doing them now, so it might be nice to think of a different idea just to bring something a bit fresher. We'll see. Is that all the shop news? I think it might be. There'll hopefully be a little bit of footage before and after potentially of some walks that I've been on recently. I might show you a couple of snippets of the garden or something as well. I'm not sure if I have any of that, but this is a longer than usual episode for me. Hope you don't mind. And you know what, I was considering doing a kind of Vlogmas, but I don't know, would you watch that? I don't know, let me know. I might do something like do a vlog every 3 days or something. It probably won't be majorly exciting because my life right now is just like baby stuff and a lot of house cleaning and not very much knitting and probably not much gardening even at that time of year. So yeah, maybe I'll have more time to knit if there's less gardening and stuff to do. So we'll see, we'll see. But let me know if you're interested, and that might gee me up to think about doing it. Otherwise I probably won't bother because I like having December more off social media type stuff. So tell me, what's your crack? Like, what's happening with you? What are you knitting that you're really enjoying? I love getting like pattern ideas. Yeah, I think that's everything. So maybe see you potentially at the shop update if you're interested in any of that yarn. If not, I will be back in, what month are we now? August. I'll be back in November. Yeah, is that right? Yeah, I'll be back in November and potentially December, but yeah. Oh, I don't even think I said at the start, my name's Emma and I'm coming to you from Northern Ireland. I'm up near the north coast and it rains a lot here. And thanks for joining me today, and hopefully see you next time. Bye.